possibly. I try to go one step further. What happens in conventional particle physics when three word lines meet, there is a zero-dimensional vertex. So in these Feynman diagrams, all these vertices, they are zero-dimensional, and that might still be a region for giving you some divergences. But in supergravity theory, in fact, there are no divergences at all, even though we have but zero-dimensional vertices. So here the divergences cancel at the S matrix level, and they cancel. So supersymmetry is finite, order by order, and therefore it has predictive power. Okay, I could give you several examples of what are the predictive examples of the supergravity theory. So, but experimental signatures are too big to be detected experimentally. So we need to look for unconventional tabletop actions. So you need bright young people to think of how to do it. Now, if you still want to extend your zero-dimensional vertices, instead of considering zero-dimensional particles and fields, you consider it for extended objects which are one-dimensional. So open strings or closed strings, and that takes you to string theory. My friend Nimai has fallen asleep. His favorite, he talks about, very often he talks about Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So which is delta x equal to x cross y delta p. So in conventional particle physics and field theory, only Heisenberg uncertainty principle comes to our help. But what you can do now, you can generalize uncertainty principle. I would add one more term, some alpha prime standard slope of the radial trajectory in particle physics times p by delta x, or delta x by p. Okay, first I have x cross delta x is x cross by delta p plus alpha prime delta p by h cross. Okay, it's dimensionally fine. Okay, so GUP, and
It is called GUP.
QP,
GUP.
generalized Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So I am awakening you with the uncertainty principle. Now, if you do that, then your zero-dimensional objects, they are now one-dimensional objects. So a open string floating around or traveling around, or a closed loop, जो रबर का छल्ला, उसको आप पकड़ के चलाएंगे तो ट्यूब बनेगा. So strings interact via stringing and joining, and here the extended objects are one-dimensional objects, and it's a very successful theory. You can write it down. For example, in terms of Polyergo-Weston or square root involving square roots. So, let us say in one particular example of a Polyergo-Weston conformity in which we have only bosonic fields x nu, which are functions of sigma 0, sigma 1, sigma 2. So, string coordinates as they are called, sigma and tau. My friend Samrat says I shouldn't take too much because people are hungry, and the dining hall might close down, so people have to go hungry. So I must try to conclude. So, but you can also add to it the capital psi mu, which are spinor. Okay, so this is called as standard RMS superstring theory, Raymond-Nebuswa superstring theory. This is one approach, but here the supersymmetric transformations are rigid, not local. But there is another approach called as Green-Schwarz supersymmetry, where you go to the superspace and superfields. So you introduce these Grassmannians in the arguments of the fields. So that is another approach by itself. One could first do field theory in superspace and superfields, and similarly then one could do string theory also in terms of superspace and superfield formulation. And here the mass spectrum of the simple string theory, superstring theory, using Raymond boundary conditions gives you space-time fermions, whereas under Nebuswa's boundary conditions it gives you space-time bosons. And the mass spectrum for massless particles, massless modes, coincides exactly with that of the supergravity theory. That is it. So from super string theory, you can go back to what they call it, down and up approaches, bottom down and bottom up approaches. In one, you go to supergravity, you make the extension of the vertices to extended vertices to string bottom up, or you can first start with string or superstring theory, and then you try to connect it with the low energy, experimentally observable low energy physics, and this would then give you the conventional particle physics or whatever we know in our standard theories. So with that, I only give you the hope to how to do, what to do, just the conclusion part, but without giving the details because of the time limit. Maybe I have already crossed 51 minutes. So with that, let me conclude here for the day. And at the same time, I also like to extend my heartiest thanks to all the organizers, all the members of the PANE. I have all my best wishes for this program, for this conference, for this department, and for all of you, for all of my. So for me, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is my family. So this is my little extended family, and I have my extended family across the world. So also this it applies to different fields, not only to particle physics or field theory or supersymmetry or supergravity or superstring. For me, everything is a part of one thing. So with that, I give you all of my best wishes. Lots of love to everybody, lots of best wishes to everybody. And I hope and wish that younger people help these present generation read this philosophy further and continue it further with the explorations of the fundamental ideas. Wherever possible, please do not skip the fundamental ideas. They are the soul, they are the food for us. ये अभी आपके वाइस चांसलर साहब भी सिलेबस की बात कर रहे थे, तो कहीं भी सिलेबस में से फंडामेंटल चीज़ें अगर आप उनको रखिए, जरूर नहीं पढ़ा सकते तो मत पढ़ाइए, जब कोई प्रॉपर फैकल्टी आ जाएगी तो उसको पढ़ाइए। हमारे दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में कुछ फंडामेंटल चीज़ों को हटा भी दिया गया। A condensed course on field theory was called as radiation theory, में and Samarendra we were teaching it together. Several years we taught it together in a team because we have too many audience, 400 students. So it was a core paper, compulsory course for other paper. And only a few years ago, some people they threw it out, and including Samarendra, some more other friends, they came to me. I said, gentlemen, I am by definition, by construction a gentleman. I wouldn't say anything to the head or to the people who are now managing the things. Either you fight and struggle and make them change, or so. But please include these things. Keep them in your syllabi wherever possible, without worrying. आज उनको कोई पढ़ा सकता है कि नहीं पढ़ा सकता, शायद कल को कोई नया फैकल्टी आके वो पढ़ाएगा। हमारे से क्वांटम ऑप्टिक्स होता था, वो हटा दिया। ये चीज़ों को इनको हटाना नहीं चाहिए। जब एप्रोप्रिएट फैकल्टी आएगी तो उसको पढ़ाएगी। अब हमारे यहाँ सुपर स्ट्रिंग थ्योरी का कोर्स है। माय लविंग फ्रेंड सुप्रिया कार इज नो मोर, ही पास्ड अवे a few months ago. He was a very well known string theorist and a loving friend of mine, but he is no more. तो वो कोर्स अब कोई नहीं पढ़ाएगा, पर शायद कभी कोई फैकल्टी आएगा तो पढ़ाएगा। तो फंडामेंटल कोर्सेज को सिलेबस में रहने दो, टू फॉर अवर मेमोरी पर्पजेस। शायद कभी कोई आएगा तो पढ़ाएगा। सो लॉट्स ऑफ बेस्ट विशेस, लॉट्स ऑफ लव टू एवरीबॉडी। एक बार आईआईटी दिल्ली में क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स वाज वोटेड आउट ऑफ द सिलेबस। These things, as a senior person, these things have importance in my mind. Please don't allow to. लोगों ने कहा तुमको शर्म नहीं आती क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स हटाओ। मैं 55 मिनट्स दिया है, आई एम सॉरी।
Thank you very much for the presentation. Since again we are not too much time, so we'll not be able to take any question, but you are free to ask the question, both the speaker and the guest speaker during the lunch time. And should we have next session?